I am pissed off. I love dumb comedies, and I was so excited to see the brand new reboot of The Naked Gun. I went in there with all the knowledge of the first three Naked Guns. I love the first of the three the most, but I could not wait. I actually thought Liam Neeson was a good idea as the new Frank Drebin. I saw him in that movie Ted 2, and he had that great moment with Tricks Are for Kids that I thought, this guy is going to be perfect. He's got the tone, he's got it down. But the new Naked Gun is terrible, and it's terrible because of one really big problem. It's not funny enough. The jokes per minute were way too slow. I don't even think there was a joke per minute. When I can sit in the movie and say that scene had no jokes, and I can think of jokes, we have a major problem here. And so I got to get this off my chest. I knew there was a problem right off the bat. When in the opening scene, they did that bank scene where Frank Drebin walks in as the little schoolgirl with the lollipop and rips the face off. That was the trailer, and the trailer was pretty funny. But to see it now in the movie, I noticed, geez, it's not as funny as the trailer was. Why is that? Because it was not cut properly for comedy enough. It felt slow. It felt tonally off. The music felt off. And then what does this movie do that is the cardinal sin of all comedy? It doesn't know why it was a success in the first place. Do you know that familiar music with the horns? Da-da-da-da-da. They didn't open with that. They didn't even do the cop scenario with the red flashing light driving through the town and all the funny things, all the signposts that say, we're about to give you a funny movie. They didn't even have an opening sequence. And that's when I started to think, uh-oh, I might be in trouble in this movie because my expectation is that this movie is supposed to be funny, and they haven't delivered the funny yet. Let me just tell you the next three scenes, which is going to piss you off so bad. The next scene is him driving in his car, and right out of the first Naked Gun. But in the first Naked Gun, he's talking about his girlfriend that he broke up with, and everything he sees reminds him of her, and then they see those two nuclear plants that looks like boobs sticking up in the air. Here, he's driving in his car. Nothing about driving in his car was a joke. It was a straight scene. What? Then he arrives at the police precinct, and normally I'm thinking, great, there's always funny, hilarious jokes at the police precinct. Funny things are going on. Remember the guy who's so tall he had a banana stuck to his face? He doesn't even know he has a banana on his face. They're like, you got something on your face, and then a banana falls. So he walks in, they're like, hey, congratulations, you caught your 1000th bad guy. And I thought, oh, great, where's this going to go? Is there going to be a cake, and another bad guy is going to pop out? He's going to shoot some fun. No, there was nothing. That was it. And then the boss calls him in to chew him out because of the bank robbery. And I thought, oh, okay, well, this will be funny. It was straight. And I thought, that's three scenes in the beginning of this movie that aren't being played for jokes. They had one joke where a guy walks out of what looks like a freezer and the sign said cold case. And that was the only joke. It was the only background humor that they could pull off. I needed 10 times more of that going on. And I knew when we got to that scene where he was chewed out by his boss and it wasn't funny and we didn't have the opening sequence with the sirens and that familiar theme driving through the town and going through the girls' showers, and I knew we were in trouble. But not only that, the movie was miscast. If you think about The Naked Gun, the thing that made it funny is they took serious actors that we all knew and cast them to play it serious in a funny movie. George Kennedy as the sidekick, Ricardo Montalban as the villain, O.J. Simpson. Yet, in this movie, the actor playing the villain was a straight character. The actor playing the police chief was just a straight actor. The actor even playing his sidekick, Ed, was just a straight actor. You had such a chance to cast somebody funny in each of those roles. I would have cast Oprah as his sidekick. I would have cast Zach Galifianakis. I would have cast, Dr. Ken Young. I would have cast the actor who played Dwight Schrute from The Office. I would have made fun of OJ. They did one quick joke where a guy looks at his picture and goes, nope, and it's supposed to be his son. I would have made that a funny, ongoing character. And I would have cast Craig Robinson. People who know how to be a funny sidekick. They threw that away. And then the villain. Where's Ricardo Montalban, Mr. Rourke? That was a great villain in the original one. Here they just have a regular actor. I would have cast Steve Martin or Robert Downey Jr. or just somebody that at least makes me go, oh, he's playing a villain. This is going to be funny. And yes, there were some funny parts in it, although the funniest part of the whole movie, I hate to say it, was just a ripoff of Austin Powers movies. I mean, it was funny, but I was like, this isn't a Naked Gun joke. And there was one other joke where they do this sort of fantasy where they go to the ski chalet and fall in love with a snowman. But you know what that was? Completely disconnected from the cop movie. I was thinking, this is like one of those cutaways in Family Guy. When the funniest thing is the cutaway and not the cop thing, you have a problem with your script. Tonally, the movie didn't work because they took it seriously. They played it dark and noirish. It was edited too slowly, not great for comedy. They didn't have comic actors. They didn't have enough jokes going. The music wasn't right. They were playing more serious music. They needed to play the horns that tell you that this is funny. And let me just keep going. The first Naked Gun, one of the things that was so funny was when Frank Drebin finally encounters Ricardo Montalban and he accidentally takes his pen and kills his fish and all that stuff with it. So here's the moment where Frank Drebin finally meets the bad guy and they're talking at his tech party. Guess what's funny about it? Nothing. They played it straight, except for a couple of lines of dialogues that they both liked the Black Eyed Peas, which, who cares? How about this? In The Naked Gun, the big plot, which is ridiculous, is that the Queen's going to go to a baseball game, which is funny in itself. This didn't have a funny driving plot. This was just merely play some blaring sound at the mixed martial arts competition. And that's not as funny as the Queen going to a baseball game. Secondly, when the Queen does go to the baseball game in the original Naked Guns, there's tons of baseball jokes, all kinds of really funny stuff and bloopers making fun of baseball. There's Enrico Palazzo, he has to be an umpire, all of this stuff before they get to the caper of the crime. In this one, he gets there, nothing funny happens. There's one joke where one of the announcers thinks his wife is cheating on him. Who cares? And then they immediately get to the crime. Now, the crime is funny because his pants fall off. But I was like, but where was all that funny stuff where you were going to make fun of the world of mixed martial arts and show some fighting where guys' heads fall off, or just do something funny? I was just so pissed off about it. And then we get to the end, and the movie ends dark. I'm thinking, oh, this is the part where OJ is going to be in the wheelchair and fall off the cliff. No. By the way, they should have even had an African-American guy doing OJ gags or something. Just that you needed the fact that there was minutes with no jokes in it. Just like anything. Give me anything. And then the ending. They save the day. And believe it or not, it ends with Frank Drebin and Pamela Anderson's character shrouded together under a blanket, sitting in the back of an ambulance. And I'm thinking, oh, this is funny. The ambulance is going to pull away and they're going to fall off, or what's going to happen? No, it's one of these camera pulls back and just normal endings. Are you shitting me? I could almost see the focus groups where they're like, where's the theme of the Naked Gun that we know? Where's the red, siren that we used to know? And so guess what they did? They put it in the end credits. And it wasn't even new. They actually just re-showed it from one of the old movies, repeating it. I was expecting funnier ideas with that being in the beginning, with that music. Oh, God damn it, I'm so pissed off at this movie. Seriously, somebody at Paramount needs to be fired for this. And you should re-release the movie and recut the movie. If you watch this channel, you know that I'm really passionate about good, dumb comedies. I have videos about Slapshot. I have videos about Caddyshack. I have videos about Animal House. I have videos about Airplane. I have videos about Blazing Saddles. On this channel, I have documentaries on this channel about Steve Martin. Documentaries about The Simpsons. I like comedy. Breaks my heart.